I am brave, I am kind, and I'm a positive person. This is my kitty Zen. It's probably gonna pop in and say hi quite a bit. And I'm Alina. I have borderline personality disorder, along with a couple other mental illnesses. I've been told I don't look like it. I don't look like I have a mental illness. But you know what? That makes me wonder, like, what are we supposed to look like? That's why I decided to start my blog to share with you guys firsthand what it's like living with BPD. I found online that 1.4% of the US population has borderline personality disorder, just like me. It sounds like a small number, but that's kind of a lot of people. So I wanted to share with you guys my story and just take you guys on an adventure. I'm going to be real with you guys. I believe in being authentic all the time. I don't like being fake. I don't lie. I probably overshare. I'm probably too honest. I kind of get that a lot. But that's a good thing because I want you guys to see what it's really like living with mental illness, especially one like BPD. I only know what I know from research, which is probably minimal, if I'm honest, and from my own experiences, I guess. But if you really are interested, then here we go. BPD is a condition characterized by difficulties regulating emotion. This means that people who experience BPD feel emotions intensely and for extended periods of time. And it's harder for them to return to a stable baseline after an emotionally triggering event. Yeah. I never, I didn't get diagnosed with BPD until 2017. I'd heard of it as a teenager. I kind of heard of BPD. I had no idea what it was, what it meant. I knew that I kind of related to some things, but I didn't want to diagnose myself. I didn't want a diagnosis, period. I wanted to be normal. Then in 2017, my therapist at the time asked me a bunch of questions after talking to me for a couple sessions. And then she just told me, you have borderline personality disorder. I didn't know how I felt about that. It was like nice to finally put a label because I finally had a reason. Like it explains so much. And I was able to do so much research after that. But at the same time, there's such a stigma behind any mental illness, period, but especially BPD. I started to realize that real quick. People with BPD are often thought of as just being manipulative, over dramatic, like we're attention seekers. It's probably what it looks like on the outside. On the inside, it's not like that. So BPD can lead to impulsivity, poor self-image, stormy relationships, and intense emotional responses to stressors. Struggling with self-regulation can also result in dangerous behaviors, such as self-harm. There are 9 symptoms, and I believe if you have 5 out of the 9, then they diagnose you with BPD. I'll read you guys the symptoms that I found on, I believe it was NAMI.org. So, symptoms of BPD include 1. Frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment by friends and family. 2. Unstable personal relationships that alternate between idealization, like I'm so in love, and devaluation, like I hate you, get away from me. That's known as splitting. Number 3, distorted and unstable self image, which affects mood, values, opinions, goals, and relationships. 4, impulsive behaviors that can have dangerous outcomes, such as excessive spending, unsafe sex, reckless driving, or misuse or overuse of substances. 5, self-harming behavior, including suicidal threats or actual attempts. 6, periods of intense depressed mood, irritability, or anxiety lasting a few hours to a few days. 7, chronic feelings of boredom or emptiness. 8, inappropriate, intense, or uncontrollable anger, often followed by shame and guilt. And 9, dissociative feelings, disconnecting from your thoughts or sense of identity or out of body type feelings, and stress related paranoid thoughts. Severe cases of stress can also lead to brief psychotic episodes. Those are the 9 symptoms of borderline personality disorder. When I was diagnosed, I was experiencing all 9. Now that you know a little bit more about what BPD is, I'm going to share my story with you guys. Like I mentioned before, I was diagnosed in 2017. It was not an easy ride after that. I was told by so many people to get help, to see a therapist, a new therapist, because I didn't really like the one I was seeing at the time, even though she was the one that gave me my diagnosis. We just didn't click. But it was hard because a lot of therapists that I would try to go see, I would see them and have a session, and then they would instantly tell me, I'm sorry, I can't see you. You have BPD. You're a liability. You need to see somebody specialized in DBT, somebody that specializes in DBT, dialectical behavior therapy, which is what they usually have people with BPD go through. Is a DBT treatment program, DBT therapy, etc. It was hard. I felt like I had doors slammed in my face left and right of people telling me, nope, can't see you. Nope, you got BPD. Nope. It wasn't until finally one person did say, oh, there's a DBT therapist in Brandon, Florida, which is actually where you live. How convenient. So I ended up going to TBC for CBT is the name of the place, run by Nancy Gordon. And this at the time was in Brandon. I don't know where it's at now. But it was a 6-week long program. It was supposed to be 6 weeks long. I think I only did 4 because my therapist ended up leaving. And then I had the option to either continue the program with a new therapist or just stop. So you give me the option to stop something, I'm probably just going to stop. back then at least. So I didn't complete it, but I learned a lot. I loved it. Thanks to DBT, my life is so different. It took a long time. It's 2021 now. I've been struggling all my life. There's no easy fix. There's no cure. I've undergone so many different treatments, and I might look composed. I might be more collected. I might appear stabilized at this point, but every day is a struggle, if I'm honest. Every day I have to fight with my own demons. Every day I have to remind myself that this life is worth living. Yes, the pain that I feel sometimes is unbearable, completely unbearable. But I'm starting to realize that the beauty on this planet, in this universe, is much greater. And the light will always combat the darkness as long as we have hope and keep fighting. I hate that I get so emotional sometimes talking about my life. It just hasn't been easy. So, why am I sharing this? I just want to give people hope. I just want to give people a voice, to be the voice. I want to encourage people to keep fighting, to keep trying different ways, because you don't have to live miserably. You don't have to be depressed. I know there's sometimes no reason for it. I know a lot of times it's just the way we're programmed. But there's so many resources out there, so many different treatment programs that can actually help you feel better. It's 2021, September. I'm doing a lot better than I was just 2 months ago. I've been wanting to do this for so long again, but I couldn't. I was still depressed for so long. I was in the dark for so long. I finally came out of that. So here I am to share my story with you. The plan is to just give you guys some insight into my life, to share with you my struggles, to share with you what I really go through, so you can see the reality of it, the reality of living with mental illness. I want to do that to give people hope, to encourage others to speak out, to own it, to accept who you are. But also, most importantly, I need to keep myself accountable. I need to keep making progress. And the only way to do that is to focus on it and want it and do whatever I can to keep the peace and somewhat stabilization. I don't even know if that's the right way to put it, but to keep that. I don't want to fall again. But I do have BPD. And I don't think that goes away. I think you just learn how to manage it. I think you just learn the triggers. Anyway, this is video one. There's so much more to come. I plan to educate, share, and hopefully inspire you to speak up or inspire you to get help. Living with mental illness isn't a death sentence. You don't have to be ashamed. We don't have to be ashamed of it. We're just as important, just as special. And you know what? I even think we're a little bit more special. To me, having a mental illness is like having a gift sometimes. It's time to share my gift. I'm here for you. And I need you guys to be here for me. Keep me accountable so I can keep making progress, so I can keep sharing my light with the world, so I can keep my light in the world.